Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for attending today. This is the virtual college for OACAC for all the Ohio students. During this time, feel free to drop questions in the Q&A box. Your microphone and camera is completely off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is the session for the University of Utah, and if you need to sign up for any more sessions, you can check out the schedule at www.oacac.org, and all of these recordings will be available at the same website, and you can go back and review it at any time. But without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Scott Hurd, and he will go ahead and take it from there. So feel free.
All right, thank you. So like she said, my name is Scott Hurd. I am your admissions counselor at the University of Utah. So I am the representative for students from Ohio who are looking to come to the University of Utah. So definitely my contact information will be at the end here, so feel free to reach out to me. Let me know if you have any questions during the presentation. Feel free to drop them in the chat. We won't have a chance to get to them until the end of the presentation, so you can drop them in advance or just save them for the end so that we can cover them at that point in time. But thanks for joining today. So a little bit about the University of Utah. We were founded in 1850. We are the oldest school west of the Missouri River, which isn't as cool as saying the Mississippi River, but there was like one other school that beat us out. So if we just shift the landmark a little further to the west, to the Missouri River, then we can say that we are the oldest. But we've grown a lot since then. We have about 32,000 students now. 8,000 of those are graduate students. And even though that sounds like a larger institution, and we are, we maintain a smaller feel. So we have an average class size of 23 students. We have a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio. 65% of our classes are fewer than 30 students. So you're really going to have those awesome opportunities, those intimate experiences with your professors where you can get to know them. They can get to know who you are, learn about you as a student, what your professional desires are, can help you in those types of things, which is awesome because 98% of them hold the highest degree in their field. We are a tier 1 research university, so you'll have a chance to work with them in research if that's something that interests you. And if not, just like they're great resources to take advantage of. So I just had a friend who finished her accounting degree here recently, and she was in class one day and a professor came up to her beforehand and was like, "Hey, do you have a job right now?" And she did, but it wasn't something that she was super excited about. But her professor had heard about a forensic accounting job opening and had recommended her to it. And that was how she landed her job out of the accounting program. So definitely take advantage of those small class sizes, get to know who your professors are, let them get to know you so you can take advantage of them as a resource in your education. But speaking of other things, like what in the world is Salt Lake City? Like maybe if you're from Ohio, you've come here to ski or snowboard because we have some great mountains in the area. And I'll talk about that shortly, but Salt Lake City is like the major hub of Utah. So we have an airport, you can get to us relatively easy. And then as a student, being in Salt Lake City is going to open up a lot of resources for you. So you're going to have the state capitol, which is just like 10 minutes from campus. If you're interested in political science or community engagement, you can take advantage of that being a student here in Salt Lake City. We've got the Utah Jazz, we've got some great shopping, some awesome dining opportunities, and really just like anything that you need, we've got it because we're a relatively large size city. We're not like huge, so you can still get around really easy. And on the flip side of that, so you've got downtown 10 minutes to the west of campus, but just like straight out the back doors of some of our campus housing, you can be on the Bonneville Shoreline Trail, which runs right along the mountains here in Utah. So it's like the Hannah Montana of locations because you've got downtown, you've got the outdoors. It's really the best of both worlds. 6 world-class ski resorts within 45 minutes of campus that you can use your student ID to get on a bus and get there super easy, hit the slopes, get back for class in the afternoon. Whatever it is you're looking for, you can do it. Like obviously if there's great skiing, that means there's also great hiking and rock climbing in those warmer months when there isn't snow covering the mountains. So like I said, best of both worlds, really. Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, whichever you prefer, you've got them both here at the University of Utah. So hopefully you guys get those jokes. Maybe you have no idea who Hannah Montana is because Miley Cyrus is just herself these days. Anyways, having all these things around us, we're not just content to say like, look, we've got the mountains, we've got downtown, we're set, but we consider ourselves a campus in motion. So we're always trying to provide new opportunities, new resources for our students so that you can have the best experience here. Some examples of that. So the Utah Museum of Natural History was located on campus. They've moved to a new location and left this building, the Crocker Science Building, which it is now. So they had moved out, we came in, totally renovated it, added all this natural lighting so that you can retain information better as you're studying. And they put in these awesome labs where you can see directly into those labs to encourage collaboration, to get students to like see what's going on in there, and then so that they can get involved and become a part of it, or come up with their own new and unique ideas. We also just opened a brand new residence hall for freshmen. It's called CalArt Village. I feel really bad that all I have is this digital rendering of it from an artist, because it did open this semester, and it's way more impressive in person than it is in this picture. But yeah, just under 1,000 beds for in strictly freshman housing. There's 4 different living learning communities that you can be involved in here. There's the community engagement, the health tower, the STEM tower, and then there's also an honors housing here in this new location. And this is right across the sidewalk from our Student Life Center. So easy access to the recreation hub on campus. We've got a 4-story climbing wall, bouldering wall, all the cardio and weight equipment that you need, an indoor track, basketball courts, racquetball courts. And then also one of the things that I think is really awesome, we have one of the largest outdoor equipment rental locations on a college campus here in the Student Life Center. So the Outdoor Activities Center, they not only do they have equipment that you need to like get out on the slopes or to go out camping, but they also host student events and student trips. So they'll take you out to enjoy the awesome like locations of Utah. So like I said, we've got the mountains right here. We've got the, they're focused on the mountain side of things, but not only just like in Salt Lake, but like all throughout Utah. We've got 5 national parks, Zion, Canyonlands, Bryce, and they are like hosting trips for students to get out there and explore those. So like, as a student coming from Ohio, it's an awesome opportunity for you to see not just Salt Lake, but the rest of Utah, and to really enjoy the beauty that we have here. I'm biased. I've lived all across the country. I was in Maryland for a while, and Michigan and Denver, and Utah is beautiful. So get out and enjoy it while you can, if you come here as a student. Of course, you're going to college to get a degree. That's the top priority. You want to earn that degree. You want to find a job after school. We have 18 colleges with over 150 majors, minors, and certificates to choose from. So I've got these like small print lists that you're not going to be able to read. So if you're interested in finding out that we like have a program that you're interested in, please reach out to me. I can let you know what we have, so that you can find out if we even have what you're interested in studying. One of the major things that I think that set our students apart here at the University of Utah is the things that they're doing, not only in the classroom, but outside of it. So just a few examples, like we have our honors college, which is more of a liberal arts style, where you're not getting just a depth, but a breadth of education as well. One of the highlights for me in this top right-hand corner, you see our makerspace at Lassonde Studios. So this is our Center for Entrepreneurship on campus, as part of the School of Business, but they have like their own location. So in Lassonde Studios, they've got this makerspace where if you have like ideas for a product, a business that you want to start and something that you want to sell, like you can go in and use all the tools there to make that happen, to build your product. Like we had some students, they're now sold at REI, but they like built the prototype and started their company for the Tammock, which is like a hammock and a tent at the same time. That started here in Lassonde Studios. They've got competitions for our entrepreneurs where you can get seed funding to get your business started. They also have, like office locations that you can rent. So you have a place like for a mailing address, and then other programs that, get you connected to business people around the Valley, and like build a mentorship to help you as you're continuing your own business. Other things would be like the UROP program, which is our undergraduate research opportunity program. That's for undergraduates interested in getting funding to do research, whether it's research of your own with a professor as a mentor, or getting funded to participate in the research that your professors are doing already, as well as learning abroad opportunities. Of course, with the pandemic, these are kind of up in the air right now, and it's not really certain what is possible. But one program that we've started, this is the first year for it actually, is a Leap Global. So this is something to check out if you're like interested in learning abroad right away. So what you would do is come and spend fall semester on campus here with your Leap cohort, taking some general education classes and fulfilling classes for your major. And then in spring semester, you would spend that semester at our Asia campus in South Korea. So that very second semester of your college experience, you're getting an opportunity to learn abroad and have that experience of a global education. And then, of course, you've got to balance, your education. You got to find that work-life balance and some time for fun. We do have over 600 clubs and organizations on campus, and of course, they can be fun. Like you see here, this is Human Battleship, where they're just like actually trying to sink each other's canoes in the pool. You can also see like our 40-person hot tub in the background there as well. But they also can be more, professionally driven, career driven as well. And if there's not a club that you're interested in, you can start it. So like I always like to share this because you can go to school, you can go to class, and you can like finish your degree and then go to try and find a job, or you can go to campus wherever you are and get involved and really make your education an experience for you. So actually, as an admissions counselor, I kind of had a weird route here. I studied exercise science, thought I wanted to be a physical therapist, but as a student, I was involved as a university ambassador. So I gave campus tours, I visited high schools with our admissions counselors at the time, and found out that I really had a passion for admissions and higher education. And even though I studied exercise science, like my experience as an ambassador led me to this career path. So definitely take advantage wherever you're at, get involved on campus, and find those leadership opportunities, find those experiences outside of your comfort zone, so that your education can be even more meaningful. Other ways to get involved on campus and to feel like a part of the community here at the University of Utah would be to attend our athletic events. So this is the Mighty Utah Student Section, or the MUS as we call them. This is one of our traditions at our football games. It's called the third down jump. So our student sections have been ranked in the top 5 by ESPN multiple times. And our students have a good time at the games, especially during this tradition. So the third down jump, they're trying to create as much distraction as they can for the opponents. It actually registers as a small earthquake in our geology department on their seismograph. That's how much fun they're having. And the MUS is something you can get involved in. For football, there is a cost. You pay like $80 for the year that gets you an assigned seat, an entrance to the tailgate for every game, and a special shirt. And so that you can like have a designated seat for every single football game, every home game. $80, that's a steal of a deal. Like I probably couldn't even get a single game ticket for that kind of money. But we are a member of the Pac-12, and I would be remiss in saying, if I didn't say, actually, that like, even though like Pac-12, like you think conference of champions in athletics, it's also an academic conference as well. And if our students couldn't go toe-to-toe with the students in this other conference, like UCLA, Stanford, we wouldn't have merited an invitation to the conference. So not only is it like athletically inclined, but we're academically inclined as well. And you see it in our students. You don't see it in me, obviously, because I skip backwards on my slides, but we're going to continue forward here. Finding that balance and being involved, the easiest way to do it is to live on campus. Like I mentioned earlier, we do have a brand new residence hall for freshmen called CalArt Village. You also see in this bottom right-hand corner, that's Lassonde Studios that I was talking about earlier, the makerspace, the entrepreneurship center. You actually can live there as well. So awesome opportunities to be on campus and to be in the know. Like nothing can beat a 10-minute commute to class. You just roll out of bed, walk on down to campus. Nothing beats that. So how do you take advantage of all these things? How do you do all these things as a student at the University of Utah? You have to be admitted. You have to apply. So we use a holistic review process, and we are on the Common App, so you can find us there. But our holistic review process, like this year, we've gone test optional, and that is running from fall 2021 to fall 2023. So you can apply without an ACT or SAT score. We are going to use a holistic review process. We're going to look at your GPA, your course rigor as some of our major factors, like are you taking AP courses? Are you taking concurrent enrollment or an IB program? Like we're going to look at those things to see how you're challenging yourself as a student and preparing yourself to succeed in college. So we'll also take some secondary factors into consideration. Things like your extracurricular activities. Do you have any leadership experience? Do you have work experience? Like, make sure you're as thorough as possible, because really the more information you give us, the more reasons we have to say yes. So be as thorough as you can with the Common App. We definitely encourage you to take advantage of the additional information section, where you can include things like, maybe you had some medical issues when you were like your sophomore year and your grades dipped, like you can explain those types of things there. There's also this year a section specifically for COVID-19 in regards to the pandemic. So share with us, like, what difficulties you went through as things went virtual last year and you weren't able to go to class in person. Tell us about those things so we can take them into consideration. Like I said, the more information you give us, the more reasons we have to say yes. So costs, thinking about that. So as a student from Ohio, you would be an out-of-state student. Tuition and fees would be just under $30,000 for a full year, and that's 13 credits, both fall and spring. And then room and board, this is kind of a high estimate, around $12,000. So as a total, looking somewhere just under $42,000. And like I said, that room and board, that's a high estimate. That's if you're like living in a single room, you have the most expensive meal plan, and you're going out for like steak and lobster every Friday night also. So that definitely is a cost that can come down. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can change that out-of-state cost to an in-state cost. So Utah is actually it's like the second easiest place in the country to gain residency for tuition purposes. So after that first year, after your freshman year, you could be paying in-state tuition as a sophomore for the rest of your time at the University of Utah. So there's really kind of three things that you need to do. You need to be in the state for 12 continuous months. There's like 29 days of leeway where you can travel to visit family, go home for breaks between the semester. But really you need to be here for those 12 months and not gone for more than 29 days. Then you also need to prove financial independence, which really just means that your parents can't claim you on their taxes that first year. So you would need to file your own and file taxes as an independent. The third would be that you need to prove ties to the state of Utah. So that could mean like getting a driver's license, registering a car if you brought one, registering to vote, which hopefully, if you were eligible, you did this week. But yeah, so you do those three things, and then you reapply for residency, and by your second year, you're paying in-state tuition. And again, like staying 12 months, that would mean that you're here for the summer. Another great advantage of that is that everyone pays in-state tuition in the summer semester. So even if you stayed in the summer and instead of just like working, you also took some classes, you would be paying in-state tuition that semester as well, which would kind of help you get ahead. And then by your sophomore year, you're paying in-state tuition and saving about $20,000. So awesome opportunity. If you have questions about that, definitely reach out to me. But looking like right now, how do you kind of bring down those costs? So that was sticker price, that $41,000, that was sticker price. Last year, the University of Utah gave over $98 million in scholarships and grants. And so all you need to do really is apply. So December 1st is our early action 1 deadline. Really what that means is that you'll have a decision, an admissions decision by January 15th. February 1st is our scholarship deadline, both merit-based and needs-based. So as long as you have a complete application on file, that's an application, test score, an application fee, or not test score, transcripts. You don't need a test score, sorry. But as long as you have all of that on file and your application is complete, you'll automatically be considered for merit-based scholarships, as well as if you have a FAFSA on file by that February 1 deadline, you'll also be considered for needs-based scholarships. If you apply by that February 1 deadline, you will receive your admissions decision on March 1st, which is also when our scholarship decisions are going out. The biggest benefit for that December 1 deadline is if you receive your admissions decision by January 15th, then you can start applying for departmental scholarships as well. And so that's like based on what you want to study. Like if your major or your college has any scholarships specifically for their students, you would be able to apply for those. So definitely keep that in mind as you're looking to apply and thinking about that. So if you have questions about these dates, reach out to me. April 1st is kind of our final deadline. If you want to apply to the University of Utah, you should apply before April 1st. But if you apply before that February 1 deadline, you'll automatically be considered for scholarships, and who doesn't want free money to help pay for school. With that being said, we have started to offer campus tours again. If you're interested in coming to visit the University of Utah, like I feel like finding a college is like buying a pair of pants. Like you want to try it on, you want to make sure they fit right before you spend that money on them. So definitely come and visit if that's a possibility. We also have some virtual tours and some virtual events going on. If you just go to our website, admissions.utah.edu, you can find the tour registration there, as well as our virtual events so that you can get some more information. Definitely reach out to me if you do have some questions. I'm your go-to person. So anything that you're interested in learning about, any questions that you have, like finding a program, what like your next steps are, I'm your go-to. So you can always give me a call, send me an email, or if you go to our webpage at admissions.utah.edu and you find the Meet Your Counselors page, you can schedule on my calendar with me for either a phone call or a Zoom conference, and we can chat then. So that being said, I want to say thanks, and I will leave this here for a little bit so that, if you need to copy that down, you can. We'll kind of go over some questions here. So definitely drop those in the chat if you have some more things you want to learn about. Just some in general that kind of came in. So like preparing for graduate school as an undergrad. So we do have a pre-professional advising program. If you're like interested in going to med school or dental school, or you want to become a physical therapist, we do have a pre-professional advising program. So those academic advisors like work with you to really, because preparing for those, like you can study whatever you want as long as you take the prerequisite courses. So those advisors work with students specifically to make sure that they're completing those prerequisite courses and helping them prepare for like interviews, helping them prepare their resumes, and all those types of things. Other questions, that's about like internship opportunities. Yeah, so the Hinckley Institute of Politics is like a great resource for our students on campus. Don't let the politics part of that name confuse you, because they do more than that. Like they're our center for all sorts of internships across campus. So Salt Lake City was voted one of like the best places to live as a young professional. There's a lot of like Fortune 500 companies here in the Valley that they partner with the Hinckley Institute to offer internships to students. So you can go meet them, interview, and find internships in the Valley. Like that's another great way to add to the value of your education, would be to internship, like those study abroad opportunities as well. So do an internship that you can add to your resume, where you can say like, look, I have this knowledge from my degree, and this is how I used it and applied it in my internship. And so things like that are awesome opportunities to take advantage of, that you don't want to miss. So yes, some other questions. I did mention the Honors College earlier as a way to enhance your degree. If you're interested in applying for that, that would be on the Common App. So you would select yes that you want to apply to the Honors College, and then they have 7 essay prompts that you can complete one of them and submit to be considered for Honors College. So that is part of the Common application, but separate from like just admissions. And that's kind of an extra step. I failed to mention that with our holistic review and our admissions process, we don't require essays and we don't require letters of recommendation. So that's why you want to be as thorough as you can with the rest of the Common App, as well as taking advantage of the additional information section within the Common App. So I'm not seeing any other questions, but if you do have questions in the future and there's things that you're more interested in learning more about, feel free to reach out. I'd love to connect and answer your questions about the University of Utah. And so thanks again for joining us today, and I say go Utah.
Thank you so much, Scott, for all of your information. If we don't have any more questions, we're going to go ahead and end this session. Once you click out of this, you will have a quick survey you'll need to fill out. It's only 4 questions, and you can sign up, like I said at the beginning, for as many sessions as you like. Go into www.oacac.org, and all of these recordings will be live afterwards for you to go back and visit at any time. Thank you again to our panelists for talking with us today, and I hope you guys all have a great day.